And we are rolling on the 18th day of August here at UCLA. Part 2 of hearing the A's do their film speeches. So, would you begin?
Hello, my name is Xi Chen, and you can call me Sushi.
Sushi! Hi, Sushi!
Because my friends call me this, so I don't mind. And I'm going to introduce a film called Emily, and it's a beautiful French film that it adds some details that are very romantic, and it made me remember how fantastic I was, and made me think about the beauty of human nature, and made me realize that every individuals have their own stories, though most of them are people of no consequence. And I think there are some significant things that you will be interested in. And at first, that it's interesting to see that the characters in this movie are almost very silent, but it's interesting to see that they have their colorful inherent and stories. And Emily is a normal girl as a waitress in a store, but one day she found a memory box in her house, and he decided to find its owners, which start her way to help change others' lives. And everyone received her great gift called Love and Care, which helped them remember what a wonderful life they used to live in. And the first way the movie moved me is that it helps me remember my lost love and curiosity for life. And in the movie, Emily is a girl with a fantasy imaginary. In her eyes, the cloud is of different shapes of bears and rabbits, and the grass is of different colors, and she loves the feeling to put her fingers in the beans. And it reminds me of my childhood. I started playing piano at a very young age, and at first it's interesting. It's interesting for me to listen to different beautiful tunes until my mother told me to take tests, and I hate it. And I hate the practice that is very boring to play the same tunes over and over again. And finally, I ruined the test up because I'm too nervous. And the test teacher just wrote down an idiot as a comment. Actually, I have many experiences like this, and this all unhappiness turned my life into a very boring and very nervous life. But I insist that keep love and keep curious will help myself to face the difficulties in life more easily. The second way that the movie moved me is that it helps me believe in the strong power that the life gives us. In the movie, Emily didn't go to school because her doctor father told her that she has heart disease just because she was too nervous when her father hugged her, that her heart beat quickly. And her mother died just because a suicide people jumped off and crushed her. I think life is just like a joke. And fortunately, most of us face it with a smile. And for me, my mother didn't accept the truth that I was a girl, and she wants me to be a boy. So I was dressed up as a boy until my 12 years old. And before that, my haircut is shorter than boys, and my only dress was the uniform, and I was joked as the boy wearing uniform dress at school. and I was joked when I went to the women's restroom. I think my mother don't know about this, and even my teacher didn't recognize my sex for 2 months. But I think despite this unhappiness, I still grew into a very beautiful and sunny girls. Like now I'm standing here, and I think we can't control what life chooses for us, but we can control what life chooses for us. But I think with smile and confidence and with bravery, we will make up our own life. And the third way the movie moved me is that it makes me feel that it's worthy to care about others. In the movie, there is an old man living downstairs who didn't go outside for 20 years because his bones are too weak to touch the hot thing. And he lives alone and no one knows about him. He draws the same picture called The Picnic on the Boat over and over again, year after year, and until Emily find him. And it reminds me of my grandma. My grandma lives with us. Our big family is very happy every day except her. She looks very lonely, and not until I grew up did I come to know that her past. She had a very hard time when my grandpa went for a war, and she alone support her family and raise up her children. Even with the villagers' bully, she still has a headache now because she was hit on the head when a neighbor hit on his head when she was young. So when I see the movie showed the old man's loneliness, I was very guilty because I think I should have paid more attention to my grandma and give my love and care. And in conclusion, I think the movie, I believe, there is no doubt that the movie moved me because it made me believe in love, and it made me believe the possibility to stay curious and stay care about others. Thank you.
How long was your speech supposed to be?
4 minutes.
4 minutes, yeah. Your speech was 7 minutes and 9 seconds.
Yes.
Almost double.
Yes.
You need to time it. Do you have a watch?
I tried to, but I speak English too slowly and I couldn't speed it up.
Yeah.
So
Okay. My suggestion is you take things out like the plot summary and just deal with your emotions. Okay, but cut things out, cut things down so you're within the time limit, okay? Well, I like that you got the speech done. And, well, you need to, as I told others, put the Roman numerals of the prompt in. So 1, introduction, 2, thesis, 3, significant statement. So it's all there, okay? So put it in here, right? You understand? So you won't forget things. So, for example, on your thesis preview, you didn't really tell us what the 3 points you were going to make, so we didn't know where you were going. Okay? And on your emotions, I guess you felt you lost your curiosity because of the rote piano playing, and your teacher called you an idiot, and that made you feel bad, right? Yeah. I thought your best story, but your plot summary of the movie was too long, was your mother wanting you to be a boy and dressing you as a boy. That's pretty sad. Very sad, in fact. And I admire your courage for telling the story. That was good. And boy, that's a lot to get over. And I'm glad you did get over it. On the feeling guilty about your grandmother not loving her enough, I guess was your third story. You need to cut it down so you get right to the point, okay? Summary is different from a conclusion. Summary is 3 ways the film moved you. Conclusion is there should be no doubt in the room, the name of the film, and then it moved me. And then you tie back to your poem, your quote, your story, or your joke that you start, or your quote that you started your film with. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for waiting respectfully outside. That will bring us to Armand. Got a self-evaluation, good. Nicely typed in the outline form, good, excellent. Sorry if I stapler. Dying on me. Okay. There we go. Okay, you're a little taller than the last person, yeah. Okay. Armand stands before you, managing attention. You gotta close that computer. Communicating respect. Finding friendly eyes to the front and the center. Say your name, feel the love. Start your speech.
Hi everybody, my name is Armand.
Hi Armand.
And I'd really like to thank Steve Jobs for creating Pixar. Because without Pixar we wouldn't have a film with a monster going around into children's rooms during the night, or having a fish get lost just to end up in Sydney in a fish tank, or have a rat be cooking in upscale restaurants. The film Ratatouille made me feel happy, confused, and nostalgic. I believe that there was just to refresh you guys, Remy is the rat, and Linguini is the chef, and Ego is a food critic. So I think that there was a clear relationship between Remy and Linguini, and some sort of a loving relationship that's clear in almost all Pixar movies. There's just a relationship between two people is very strong. And what Stanley Brandis and Thor Anderson said in their review was that from an anthropological perspective, Ratatouille has a central theme that of what it means to be human. I agree with this in the sense that I do see it in almost all Pixar movies. And I think the fact that a man and a rat got together to create a great duo says a lot about this review. The first instance where I felt happy was when Remy and Linguini got together and they discovered each other and they found a way to cook great meals. Well, Remy would just be in his hat and be pulling his hair and chopping a knife, and I just always thought, what if he cuts his finger? I was so scared. But this reminded me of when I was in my dad's pizza shop one day, and I always loved making pizzas, and this was when I was younger, around 7 or 8 years old, and I was in the kitchen. I'd really like to get creative with my pizzas, and so I just never really got the dough down. I would always throw it into the air, it'd land on the ground, or there'd be a hole in the middle, and so I could never really get it down. And the day that I really felt happy was when my dad's head chef came and properly taught me, and it made me feel nice. I'm like, oh wow, I'm an adult. This guy came and taught me how to make a pizza. And so from that day, I'm like, yeah, I'm like a pizza pro now. I'm better than the chef. So that's the instance that kind of made me think of Remy and Linguini and how they helped each other to make the perfect duo. And the part that made me feel a little confused is when when Linguini caught Remy the rat inside the restaurant, and then took a bike ride to the park, and then and it was in a jar. So I'm like, in what reality would you befriend a rat? I remember this reminded me of the time a rat came inside my house, and I had never seen a rat this big. It was just literally a ball of fur with 4 legs, and I didn't know what to do, and I just keep on running around hiding. And so eventually I got a broom and I tried to shoo it out, and everything worked out. It reminded me of that. Lastly, the part that made me feel nostalgic was when the food critic Ego came in for a second time to try Gusto's food. That's the restaurant they work at. And when he had a bite of the food for the second time, it reminded him of his childhood, and it was just, all these pleasant aromas, and it reminded him of his mom's cooking. And that's when I remembered the time a couple months ago my mom had made a dish called dolme, which are like stuffed grape leaves with various ingredients. And I hadn't had homemade dolme in like 5 years. The last time was in 2011, January 2011. And the reason I remember this is because it was my sister's wedding and my grandma came, and whenever she comes, she makes dolme. And I haven't seen my grandma in over 6 years. And whenever my mom calls her, I don't necessarily like talking to her because I know that she'll get emotional and she'll start crying. I don't want to make my grandma cry. So, but I hope she does come soon from Iran. In summary, this film made me feel happy, confused, and nostalgic. It made me feel happy because of reminding me of the time the chef taught me how to make pizza correctly. It made me feel confused because why would you ever befriend a rat, a stray rat on the street? And 3, it reminded me of my grandma's cooking. In conclusion, I think it's clear that this movie really moved me. And to tie back, I'd like to thank Steve Jobs, because it wasn't for him, then I wouldn't be talking about Ratatouille. But in all seriousness, ultimately, it's clear to me now that this theme, this central theme that was present in this movie, was communicated to me and made me think of all of these good thoughts. And for that, I'm grateful. Thank you, Steve Jobs.
Thank you very much. 5:07. 5:11, actually. Okay. Somewhere back here. Yes, please.
Hi.
Can you shut your computer, please? Thank you. No computers in class. Shut it all the way. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Maria.
Hi, Maria.
So I really like your intro and tieback because you mentioned a few movies, and I think that was relatable to every one of us because like you heard people laughing. Also, I like your projection and your voice. It's pretty soothing.
Thank you.
I like that.
Thank you.
Okay, those are thoughtful comments. Improvement.
Hello everyone, my name's Myra.
Hi, Myra.
Just like Maria, I really like your speech. I like the way you talk, and just like it just makes me feel comfortable. But I think the only improvement is that there are some times where you don't look at me when you're like looking either at your hands or on the floor. So it like kind of throws me off. But I think other than that, you do it.
Okay, those are thoughtful ideas. Armand. I liked your speech generally. Let me give you some suggestions how it could be even more effective. Okay? Well, Steve Jobs, so you went for an illusion that the whole class shared because we all had seen Steve Jobs tell us stories at the first class meeting. And we've all seen those wonderful Pixar movies. And so you made the perfect references to fish and Sydney and rats cooking. And so it brought back the pictures of all the wonderful Pixar films. And so that was effective, and you got a titter, and you created a bond or connection. So that was effective. That was good. Watch your hands and what they're doing. There was a little bit too much of this in the very beginning. During your thesis statement. So happy, confused, and nostalgic were your three emotions that you were going to communicate. You quoted Sidney Brandis and Thor Anderson, but we didn't know from where or when, and that gives your argument credibility. So say where and when it came from. The New Yorker in January of 2015, review by these two people. Then it has some substance to it, okay? You're walking, you decided to walk a little late, but you finally remembered to walk, and so that was good. So your first emotion was you said you wanted to communicate that the film made you feel happy, and you gave us a little bit of a long plot summary of basically the ins and outs of what happened in the movie. Shorten that up and get to your story of your dad's pizza shop and him allowing you to experiment and having the head chef come in and show you how to really spin a pizza and throw it in the air and catch it and do it properly. And then remember how happy you felt and how adult you felt that you could do that effectively at the age of 8. See? And you remember that. And you say at the end of your story, and that's why I felt happy. So don't lose sight of what you're communicating, which is the emotion happiness. Don't get lost in thinking that's we'll infer, oh yeah, he was happy. You really hit us over the head with it, see? Yeah. Okay, on your second emotion, you said you were confused. And this is about a rat getting caught in a jar, which was short enough. And then we had a rat in your house, apparently. I don't know if it was Buena Park or Newport Beach or wherever it was, but you followed it around with a broom and you shooed it out the front door. Now, what I didn't get was how you felt confused. All I got was you chasing the rat around. So I didn't get you feel confused. I think you felt kind of dominant chasing a rat, you know. So I didn't get confused out of that. So remember the emotion you're communicating. Return to it, and if you can't return to it, then change it and make it a different emotion. Some people are afraid of rats because of the disease they carry and rabies and blah, blah, blah. And so if you weren't afraid to say, and I was scared to death of this rat. I thought he was going to bite me. And that's why I was scared. See, that would have been something different and more effective. On your third emotions, nostalgic. This is a really tricky one to communicate. Nostalgic. But I thought you did. You talked about stuffed grape leaves, which I love. And the thing that got screwed up when you watch yourself tonight on YouTube, you keep moving out of the picture here, sorry. is that you talked about your grandmother's emotion, but you didn't really focus on your emotion. And how do you feel when your grandmother cries? Does it make you cry too? Does it make you feel nostalgic? Does it make you feel nostalgic? So I went from you being nostalgic of remembering your sister's stuff, grape leaves at the hotel in Long Beach and your mother making it again, to your grandmother crying, and I didn't get any of your emotions in any of this. So I was just lost for your emotions. So I didn't credit you with effectively communicating nostalgia. Okay, and you see why? And you see how you could more effectively communicated it by either doing one or the other. Okay? I would have probably focused on the grandmother crying, and because you said you hope she comes and you miss her and that sort of thing. I think that lends itself more to a good emotional thing that we can identify with. The summary was good, but when you see that you're running over time, you don't need to go into an elaborate summary. That's when you make an instant decision and you pucker up and you just go happy, confused, nostalgic. You had a good memory, so you told us what happy, confused, and nostalgic were, which was great if you had the time. Okay. Conclusion was good. And the return to Steve Jobs was excellent. Let's talk about your canais. Meet the time requirement. Humor the crowd more and stay on topic. How'd it go?
Time limit didn't go so well.
Yeah.
I think I did kind of humor the crowd.
Yeah.
I think I still hit everything.
Okay, let me comment on that. I want you to never use the word crowd again as long as you live. This is not a crowd. This is an audience. These are your colleagues. These are students. These are very bright students at a very elite university. A crowd might be people you find at somewhere else. I won't say where, but this is not a crowd. By calling a body of people a crowd, you're not thinking about adapting to them individually and thinking about how to adapt to them. You're just thinking about entertaining a big mass of people, and get that idea out of your head, because that's not so good. Okay. Stay on topic. Yes, you did stay on topic, except the comments I made about where you got off a little bit on communicating the emotions. Okay? Overall, excellent job. Thank you. Any more A's that I didn't call on? Any B's want to go today? Okay, our work is done. Return with honor. Lest everybody not understand, here's how it's going to go on Tuesday. We're going to start with the B's. We're going to do all the B's. Right? If there's time, we'll come back to the A's and then do some introductions. Return with honor. Three countries, people are dying in Iraq and Syria, so you have freedom and enjoy it.
You can change it. Yeah. I don't have to write it again?
What?
I don't have to write it again on the list?
No. But just don't choose one that someone else did. Don't choose one, a movie that someone else chose already.
Same here for me. I want to change it, but is it okay if I refer to the play, or should I watch the movie and then refer to the movie? Because I'm going to do Matilda, but I watched it Matilda. But I watched it in
Waltzing Matilda?
Matilda.
Matilda?
Yeah, because I watched it as a play, but should I refer it to as a film, or is it okay to refer it as a play?
Sure, there's a play.
Okay.
Is it the play that moved you?
Yeah. Well, unless I could just watch the movie again, because I kind of want to watch it. So.
Okay,
Alright,
watch it again. Yeah.
I have two questions. So the first is I forgot to sign in on the day we went to Powell. Does it matter? Or?
Okay, yeah, no one signed that day.
Okay, yeah, that's good. And also for the evaluation form for the film speech, do we turn that in at the personal commitment speech? When do we turn that in?
You turn that in. Today you should have turned in your respect evaluation.
Okay, I did that. Yeah,
Okay,
I was
so
the
now
first
you
one,
turn
and
this
then
in on your, when you do your PC.
Okay, I see. And I don't think they're stapled together.
What?
I don't think the evaluation and my sheet are stapled together. I was the first one to go. And I turned in my evaluations.
Are you bowling you?
No, yeah, I'm Zika. I have it. So I think this is mine.
That's Ziggy.
Yeah, Ziki. So it's pronounced like Z-I-K-I.
Oh, not Ziggy?
Yeah, it's actually pronounced as Ziqi, but it's too hard for people to pronounce, so I just call myself Ziki.
Ziggy, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Ziggy. Good. I got it, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. That was
Wait. No, you screwed it up.
Oh, it's the other way? Okay.
Killing me.
Oh, it's supposed to go there.
Okay, good.
Okay, alright, thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I just had a question about how do we just go about approaching the plot? Should we kind of just briefly
One
mention
sentence.
it? One sentence. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
It's not essential.
Yeah, because
It's
it's not
just a
explaining it.
setup.
It's like,
It's
alright.
just like, we don't need to know what the movie was about. We just need a setup, because what we need is your story and your emotion.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Hi. How you doing?
We were wondering, like, where we could see our grades, like, or if that's available.
Yeah, when everyone gets done, then I post them.
Oh, okay, but what about for, like, the respect speech? Is it?
Yeah, let's see. I don't have my computer with me, and I didn't print them out, but you can see them next time. I'll write myself a note.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Are these rechargeable?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I used to.
Does it come with two? Because this one looks like it's specific to this camera.
It comes with. I have 10.
Oh my god.
So
okay.
so I keep them
Interchangeably
charged,
use them,
and I have 3 because in the regular quarter when I teach 3 classes,
Oh, so you use
I got to
them all per
really be
class,
on the
yeah.
ball.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a portable camera. It looks really nice.
Well, this one is a miracle camera, and they don't make it anymore, and I guard it with my life. Someone stole one of these, which was sad.
That's so unfortunate.
Yeah, but this thing called a flip video.
What does the other side look like? It's
So
really
small.
simple.
It's simple, and it. Here, let me start.